Welcome to C&V Productions Presents. The goal of this podcast is for those of you who have businesses or those of you who are thinking of going into business to get insight into what other business owners are doing. So hopefully you'll learn from the process. You can apply what we've gone over to your business, and hopefully that will help you in growing your business, which will help us all. And we hope that you enjoy it. We hope that you subscribe, and we look forward to learning together.
Hey, Cecil.
Hey, Vic.
What's today's topic?
All right. So today we're going to talk about network. All right. Some of the importance of networking, getting around people that you want to do business with or, can help you in growing your business. Some of the things that I think people get a little mixed up with networking, especially if you're getting like into a networking group, is like when you come into the group, you shouldn't be selling to the people, right? Because that's not the network part of it, right? Networking is when you walk into the group, you're basically identifying future sales reps. So everyone in that room, if you're doing it right, once you build a personal relationship with them, they should know what you do. So they can they can find the need of what you do for themselves and for other people that they do. So if they have clients, they have family members that may need your services, they automatically, once it pops up, they know this is the person that I need to have you reach out to.
Right.
Because I trust them.
For someone that's starting out, and they're just starting to network.
Right.
For some people, networking is a challenge.
Yeah.
For others, it's kind of natural. I can talk to people. And for me, it took some time to learn the skill.
Right.
But what are your tips as far as when you're going out trying to build a network, when you're going out to networking events? What are your tips for those people that I'm a little shy? I mean, how do I go about breaking into a group and saying, hey, my name is Cecil and this is what I do?
For me, I'm a little bit weird in that, right? Because I go in.
We all are, by the way.
Right. I go into a situation really not really caring. Right. And when I say not caring, it's not caring about what people necessarily are thinking about me. I'm really more focused on trying to get to know them. So when I walk into it, I'm not thinking, oh man, these people are looking at me a certain way, because how I look really doesn't matter at that point. It's really about when I walk into the room, how can I get to know everyone there? Right. Or maybe if I can't get to know everyone there, because that may not be useful, because I am an introverted person at my soul, right? So I keep like things close. I have a small amount of friends that I've known for a very long time, things like that. But introverts tend to build relationships pretty easily or build long lasting relationships. So that's what I kind of focus on. My strength is getting to know people, getting them to know me, scheduling some time maybe after the event, talking and learning more about their business, their families, and what they do. So when they're talking and understanding what I do, we're just really exchanging information, getting to know each other better, and finding ways to really help each other move forward. For someone that is maybe not like that, maybe more extroverted, it may be a lot easier. They can just go out into a room and they get to know everybody in the room, and everybody knows them, and laughing and drinking and having a good time. But if you're not that person, maybe focus on 1 or 2, 3 people that are in the room, get to know them, and build a real relationship.
Fun fact for everyone. I'm also an introvert. We're both introverts,
yeah.
But we've learned the skill so that we can navigate this world and be a little bit more sociable, so that we can meet people and build those networks and build those relationships. Because it's very important, regardless of what you're doing in life, guys. It's very important to network, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So talk to us about, I guess, what business owners can do. What networking events should they be looking for? How can they find one?
Well, what I found, especially recently, there's a lot of opportunities out there. There are different networking groups that you can be a part of. And even if you can't find something that really works for you, you can try to build your own thing with people that you know that are also in business that may also be finding it hard to get around people that they feel comfortable with in other businesses. So there's many ways you can do it. Someone that's coming straight on, I would, my first thing when I first came in, I went to a chamber, and a lot of people don't think about chambers as an option, but they should, because if you're doing business to business, why not go to the place where all the businesses are? Right. So that's, that was my first step to go there, get to know other people. And my thought process on that was, in many cases and in any events that we go to, I really understand that really everyone's there for the same reason, to promote their business, to get to know other people, to make sure other people know what they do. Right. So you're really in a room with people that are like-minded, right? That are all looking to expand their businesses and all willing to tell you about their business and learn about yours, right? And that's always important. If you're really looking to grow your business and really be seen or be known for a specific thing or service that you provide, it's best to go with other people that are also doing the same thing because they know exactly what you're going through, right?
How many networking events would you say you go to every year?
Man, it used to be a lot. You do networking events, right? I mean, even if you're not doing it for a business, you're always going out,
yes,
talking to people, doing what you have to do. But I used to tell people all the time, like I used to have like 1,000 cards, right? And I'm sort of
Rolodex?
No, not Rolodex. I ain't dating. I'm not that old, right? But I used to have like 1,000 cards. I'd order 1,000 cards. And my thing was, I'm going to try to exhaust these for the entire year. Right. And that was the thing.
That's your goal.
That was my goals. Like I got 1,000 of them. And that's when I first started. But as time went along, I still sort of have that as far as meeting people and getting in front of people. But it's more like now it's not necessarily the cards, but it's more about the relationships. Right. Because now it's like I go into an event and I really want to get to know people that are there. I want to know what they're doing, how their business is going, like even with the guests that we've had, I've learned something, right, about how I can help my business, right? And that in itself is important as well. So really going to the events and really get to know people. If you go into it, I think, and this is all my personal opinion, but if you go into it with the expectation of not selling to anyone there, but getting to know them and figuring out how they can get to know you so they can sell for you, right? So you're basically building a sales rep. That's what I think networking really is.
How long did it take you to get, I know you said you don't care, but how long did it take for you to say, hey, I'm comfortable in this environment. I can just go in, you can drop me anywhere and I'll network. Like how long did it take you for those people that are just starting out, right? Because I'm thinking about the people that are saying, oh, well, that's a lot. This guy's probably done 100, 1,000 of them. So how long did it take you to get comfortable?
Comfortable, huh? I don't know if you ever really get comfortable. I mean, if you go into a new environment, right? You always feel like, oh, I don't know anybody here, whatever. There's always that, but I feel it less and less, right? As time is going on. So, I can't give it a specific time, but I can say this is that when I do go into an event now, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to talk to people, right? I'm going to conversate. I want to get to know them. Because my mindset is really about getting to know whoever's in the room, right? And I think if you go into it with that mindset, the first time it's going to be scary. The second time it's going to be less. And as time goes on and on, you're going to start to realize that you're building relationships that can not only grow your business, but are going to carry on for years to come. So it becomes kind of, it becomes much, much easier as time goes on, once you get into these rooms and you're really focusing on, okay, tell me about your business. Like, what do you do? Like, how can I learn more about you?
So how do you go prepared? How do you go prepared to these networking events? Do you have like an elevator pitch? Do you
people say always you got to have an elevator pitch. Yeah, to an extent you do. because you have to know your business, right? That's the whole point of it, is to make sure that people know who you are. Right. And, so you go in, you tell them who you are, what you do, how long you've been in business. But that's the initial part of it. I find that the real benefit comes from what comes after, the follow-up emails, maybe a lunch, maybe another meeting, seeing each other at another event, really getting to know each other and build that way. You may not make a ton of sales your first time you're in a networking group, right? And nor should you, right? People don't know you that well yet. But if you spend time and you go for like 4 or 5, 6 times, you've been going to this group, seeing the same people for about 6, 7 months, yeah, you're going to get some calls. Really getting to know people is really what's going to drive everything, right? So, getting in front of people, once they get to know you, time goes on, like I said, 3 to 4 or 5, however long it could take a week, it could take days, it can take months, whatever, but it's all about the relationship you build. So once people hear what you do, like I said, I'm in insurance. So insurance sort of falls into a lot of areas, whether, people have kids that are coming onto their policies, they're buying a new home, whether it be life insurance, where they're having a baby, or they're starting a new business, or they're expanding their business. They're thinking about, or they're just trying to look at cost savings. And it's, from an insurance standpoint, I want people that know me, that I've been to these events with, to say automatically, I know a guy you can call. I know exactly who you can call, and have the confidence to know that I'm going to work. I'm going to do the best that I can.
I know your thoughts on this, but I'm going to ask anyway. What are your thoughts with technology, right? You can meet people online. You can have online communities. You have online networking versus in-person networking, because online networking is easy. It's cheap.
Yeah.
If I have to go to an event, the likelihood is I'm going to pay some entrance fee or something, or membership fee. Yeah. Thoughts on the two?
Well, tell me, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think?
So, I'm a technology guy, but that being said, I think it's very important that people connect in person. Yeah. You can't beat the in-person networking. You can't beat the in-person relationship that you like, the interaction, I should say, the in-person interaction and the relationship that you build when you're having an in-person conversation versus an online conversation are two very different worlds. It's just two different conversations. You may be saying the same thing, but when we're sitting here in person, I can see all your facial gestures. I can see all your body gestures. I can see if you're really enjoying the conversation, or you're like, this guy's boring me. When you're doing this in email or even on Zoom or Teams or whatever, you really can't see those little nuances. It's very difficult for you to build that. I think you build a stronger connection. To your point, if you were to go to lunch with someone, go to dinner, sit down, break some bread, as they say, just because you have it's more of an intimate conversation than it would be in person. Yeah. Online. And the same thing holds true with a bigger crowd, right? When you're in a bigger crowd, you get to see everyone. You get to see how everyone interacts. You can kind of pick up on little things, what they do like, what they don't like. When you're doing these things online, again, very different, where, again, communication is delayed, right? So I may be communicating with a group, but now I'm waiting for someone to respond. It's not an instant interaction. And so a lot is lost in communication when you have those discussions online. I'm not saying it's not beneficial, but what I'm saying is if I had to choose, I would prefer to have an in-person networking event, just because I think you can build a connection much quicker than you can online.
Yeah.
And you can keep that connection. And I just feel like while there may be an extra cost associated with it, it's worth the cost. It's worth that added or extra expense because of the relationships or the interactions that you're going to have that you're just not going to have online.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. But I do see the value in being able to easily meet, right? Like being online, being able to get on a Zoom, having that. So I'm looking at things as a hybrid, right? So you kind of, for initial stages, if it's groups that you've been with for a long time, then you guys can have those, Zoom calls and probably nothing will happen. But there's always got to be that follow up with, we're going to meet face to face. We're going to see each other. We're going to talk. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to share ideas. And you should know what what I do and what we do. Because like you said, it is important that face to face is a really key thing, but I do see the benefit of sometimes if you want to have a meeting, get people together. Zoom is just Zoom for one example. Just a great way to do it, right?
Yeah.
You can get as many people as you want on a call, but you won't have the same relationship building. So you have to follow up with something personal.
Right. The reach is much greater. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The reach, you can reach hundreds of people at
Yeah.
one time. I get that piece of it. Again, but it at that point, it almoch feels transactional. And that's what you want to try to avoid.
That's the thing. You want to try to avoid it. So you really want to get everyone together so they know kind of each other, but really try to move that into an in-person relationship somehow, whether it be people on a call. Okay, let's set up one-on-ones. Let's set up some lunches, some coffee talks, whatever it may be, but to get people together to really see each other face to face and really have that connection to get to know each other.
Yeah, I think that's key. That follow up and having that one-on-one interaction is critical. It's important. It's not just saying, hey, I just met this person. Hey, I'm going to email you and now I'm building rapport with you. It's like, no, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't really work that way.
Even if it's a cup of coffee, man, just for a few minutes, just say, hey, something. Just.
And then the next time you see that person, then the whole interaction is different.
It is.
Right. It's much different. Now it's like, oh, now I'm seeing somebody I really know. Right.
And it's in line with this topic, but a little off as far as, so you're meeting people, you're having lunch with them. What process or techniques are you following to make sure, like, the next time I see this person, I have to remember something that was important to them? So whether it's their kids, whether it's some hobby, what is your, like, how are you making sure that you're following up on that?
I sort of go through a mental process and I don't, it makes it sound transactional, but I like to go in and I like to have a conversation first to get to know the person. Right. So I want to know, do they have kids? What do you guys do? How long you been married? Things like that, just the personal things. And I talk about myself as well. And then we kind of talk about business and how we can maybe help each other, things they probably doing from a business perspective. Really more to tell them about what I do and them to tell me about what they do. So if I hear certain things that come up in a conversation, I know how to refer business to them and how to get people over to them. And then really look at, like, what's the next step as far as us following up together? Are we going to get together again? Maybe we should have an email, whatever. Whatever it may be, just follow up in that discussion. Now, if you have this is a one-on-one and you're going to meet someone at the next networking meeting, right, then that's typically going to be your follow-up, right? You talk to the entire group. We met, we had a great discussion. We talked about this, that, and the next, and hopefully we can help each other go each other's business. But if it's not that situation, then you may want to follow up with some action items to take away from the discussion, right? So maybe we'll have lunch next month. Just follow up, see how things are going. If the conversation was good. Now, if you don't like the person, I don't know. Maybe you try to be like, well, this ain't work out too well. but typically that doesn't happen, especially from a business perspective. You're really interested. If you're really interested in what the person's doing, that typically doesn't.
And the reason I bring this up is because we've heard it multiple times already. Right? And networking, building relationships. And if you want to build your business, people will bring business to you if they like you.
Yeah.
And so the fact of the matter is that you have to figure out a way so that you are personable, that people can say, hey, I just met Cecil. He's like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Let me refer this guy or this business to them.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you need to be able to say, hey, I had a great conversation with this person. I enjoyed my conversation and I like this person. Yeah. So the reality is people do, they have to like
work with people they like. But the whole thing is don't be fake.
Well, that too, yes.
Right. Because, if you're faking it just to be liked, that's just
you have to show
work.
Genuine interest in what the people are telling you, right? It's not just.
And you have to be like, I think you really have to be at the point, like we just had this conversation, it's like, if you don't like me, there's something wrong with you. Because everybody likes me, right? You got to kind of have that attitude because it's got to be like, be yourself. And that conversation is going to flow. If you're being yourself, the other person's being themselves, and you're having a genuine conversation. everybody's faking it, trying to maneuver to figure out the best way to get you to send them leads here and there. And that's just that's a gimmick.
Yeah.
That's not real, right? So the conversation has to be real. So I would always recommend, if you're going into any conversation with anyone, especially when it's coming from a networking standpoint, be yourself. Don't be anybody else. If the person doesn't like you, then it's not a good fit. And that's okay, right? It's okay for it not to be a good fit. In many situations, it's going to be a good fit. If you're being genuine, you really have interest in what they're doing, and they really have interest in what you're doing, it will be just fine. So what situations have you been in where you found that networking helped advance your career?
Well, it helps on many fronts. For me, I think I go into these events more so to learn from people, just because I feel like there's always something that we can learn. And so, yes, I've learned the techniques to build good relationships, to get into conversations, ask the right questions. And it's a process. I will say it is a process. For me, it's been beneficial because, again, you get to meet a ton of interesting people. If nothing else, dude, you meet a lot of interesting people. Yeah. You see people doing things that you're like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Like, I wish I was doing that, right?
Right.
You can learn so much. If nothing else, you can pick things up at a networking event, right? So I know you're saying, hey, let's go in there, and hopefully this can generate more business, more leads. But the reality is that if you go in there with saying, hey, I just want to learn.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I want to just come in here. I want to try to add value, of course, but let me also try to learn.
Yeah. Learn from the people that are there.
From the people that are there, their experiences. You would be surprised how much people are willing to share and talk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, even you as a person,
yeah.
Somebody comes up and asks you, tell me about what you do. You're going to be fine with telling them about what you do.
And I will say that's the advantage that you and I have as introverts, because introverts tend to listen better. And we do. And so that is a big advantage when you go into these rooms, because if you're listening and you're listening with intent, people will say, I've seen it multiple times. I can't explain it. I'm sure there's science behind it, but I've seen people, oh, you're a good guy. I didn't say a single word, right? You were talking for 30 minutes. Right. Yeah, I like this guy. Vic, you're a good guy. Like,
yeah.
I just said hi, man.
I know, right?
So if you go with those intentions, you can come out of those events. You'll come out of those events winning so much, right? It's just I think it's important for you to try to force yourself to go into these networking events again, regardless of what it is, right? But if you're a business owner, you have to network. It's just it's important, right?
Yeah. I think what people kind of worry about it is like the business. Sometimes you think that maybe the business that you're getting from the event, if you just look at the event, right, or the group or whatever it is, you think that, oh, that business is not big enough for me to really put my time into. But the reality is if you're looking to sell to everyone in that room, you might be right. Mm-hmm. But if you look at everyone as being a sales rep for you, then the opportunities are endless. Right. If you're going in there to learn about their business and tell them about yours, and you make a real connection with people, right? And it may not happen at the first event, it may not happen at the first group meeting, obviously, but you consistently do what you're doing and it will happen. People will get to know you. They will know what you do, and they'll be fine with sending business your way. And you don't know what that could be. I mean, they meet a person that owns a business, like, for instance, in my business, maybe someone owns a business that only has like a $300 policy or something, but their sister or brother could be like the head of GM or something, right? You know what I mean? You just don't know, right? So you go in there understanding that everyone here is a possible sales rep. So let me get to know my people. Right.
So what would your call to action be to our audience regarding networking?
Get out there and jump in the deep end of the pool. Find a place where there are people that are, like you, that maybe have a business, that want to meet other people, want to grow their business, get involved with those groups. I mean, they're literal networking groups. That's their purpose, right? For everyone to try to grow their business. So everybody's there with the same purpose. Go to local chambers. They're the same thing. Everybody's there to grow their business, right? Whether it be a Fortune 500 company down to a person that's working out of their house. Everybody's trying to grow their business. So, find these groups, find where you're comfortable, go out there, make some real connections, talk to people, talk about what you do. And I know we talk about the elevator pitch. It's good to understand your business, be able to tell people about your business, but understand you got to build that relationship to people who really know it. People are not really going to know your business in 10 seconds or 30 seconds.
Right.
They're going to know your business over time and after talking to you. So get to know their business and tell them about yours at the same time. You may even find a collaboration there that works really well that you can use, but it's all about getting out there to do it. Right. So that would be the main thing that I would tell everybody that's listening. Make the effort to really get out there and find a group that works best for you.
Heard it.
Yep.
Out there, network.
Here first. Go network. Great having you. And we really do appreciate everyone that's watching. And we look forward to talking to you. Thanks, guys.